Hi everyone, this is my 21-day Beachbody Ultimate Reset results and review video. This cleanse completely transformed my life and not just my nutrition, but I feel so much better and I think about food in such a different way. So this is going to be a little bit longer of a video because I want to go into some details and answer a lot of questions that people ask me for the video. So bear with me. I hope you can watch this to the end. I have a lot to say, but my results are in and I cannot believe I finished 21 days completely vegan and cleansed my body. It's crazy to me. And I'm really proud of myself. I didn't cheat once. And I just had the most willpower and dedicated mindset I've ever had in any program. So it was crazy, and I lost 12 pounds and over 12 inches in just 3 weeks, and that was not my objective at all, and I was not really thinking I'd lose that much weight because it takes me a very long time to lose weight, but that's how I know that my nutrition has never been right. It's always been off. So I'm going to break down the different phases of this cleanse, how I experienced it, and if you have any more questions, and if I don't answer your questions, feel free to email me at laurenmchugh14@gmail.com and I'll answer more of your questions. And I have a complete blog on this too that goes into a lot of detail, has my favorite recipes on there, and that's laurenmchugh.com. So I look forward to hearing you on any more questions you have. So anyway, the first phase was called Reclaim. And this is all about gradually removing animal products and refined foods. But since I did this all as a vegan, I was already going into it as a vegan. So I actually really enjoyed this phase because I loved the recipes and you still ate like a pretty good amount of food. And the only thing I didn't like about it was that it had tempeh. And if you're a vegetarian, you've probably tried it or heard of it. There's like seitan, tempeh, tofu. I love tofu, but it wasn't allowed on this. So that was not very good. I'm glad I tried it. I tried a lot of new veggies on this cleanse, but my favorite meal was the Southwestern veggie taco. Oh my gosh, it's on my day 2 blog. It was phenomenal, and you actually get to eat like quite a bit of like carbs and guacamole and salsa. It was so good. But I would say my biggest struggle in this phase was prepping my meals. So you really, really need to prep all your meals in bulk. I would say on your prep day, which should be at least the day before. You can do it with your partner, your spouse, anyone doing the cleanse, put on some music, but do it in bulk because it takes a very long time to cook your meals, do your dishes, all of that. So make sure you're doing that. But overall, I think this phase went the best. I've done several 3-day refreshes, which are just 3 days, vegan, non-starvation cleanse, and those were harder for me because usually your first 3 days are when you're getting the hungriest, your body's not used to the portions you're having, so that was the hardest for me prepping, but the 3-day refresh kind of helped me get ready for this, and I had basically been eliminating dairy from my diet before I did this. Also in this phase, and I started drinking about 2 gallons. It was like on average 2 gallons of distilled water every single day, and you don't get hungry that much because you're eating 3 big meals. You're having a snack, which was always a green apple and chocolate vegan Shakeology for me. You're taking supplements, so you're always chugging water. So you don't really get that, like you're not hungry really. And the workouts that I did are for my Ultimate Reset calendar, which is on my blog, but I used Beachbody On Demand. So I did 21-day fix yoga, a couple PIO workouts, just the lower impact ones, the recovery day from Insanity Max 30, the recovery day from Insanity The Asylum, the yoga from 21-day fix extreme. I also went on walks, got out in nature. So that was a really good phase. I think it really helped me kind of realize, okay, I'm going to crack down on my nutrition. But phase 2 was called Release, and this is when you become a full vegan if you're not already. And so this is the detox week where you're taking detox powder 3 times a day, which is kind of hard to get down. So my advice is to put a ton of water in it, mix it up, and just chug it really fast. It's like alkalinize a little bit, but you take it 3 times a day, and it's like kind of a little bit chunkier. It tastes like lemon. But starting in week 2, I only ate fruit for breakfast, which I actually found really refreshing and energizing. I liked that. I also tried more veggies in this phase, and my favorite recipe was the hearty vegetable miso soup, which is actually on my grocery list for this week because I'm taking a lot of recipes from this cleanse. And my boyfriend, who was eating some of the meals with me, loved this recipe, so he's also eating more vegetables now, which is pretty awesome. And in this phase, I did Turbo Fire, P90X3, Tai Chang, and then the other workout recovery ones too. I also walked a few days a week as well. But I want to clarify that these weren't really like workouts because everything was low impact. And what I mean by this is that I wasn't expending a lot of energy. It was either yoga, stretching, or some kind of yoga like Pyo, Pilates, yoga mixed. I didn't burn a lot of calories. So I did this mainly because I need to stay sane and I'm used to working out to very extreme workouts. I needed to clear my head, and stretching is really important because your body actually gets kind of sore from this cleanse because you're doing like an internal cleanse, but there's more on that on my blog. So anyway, phase 3 is called Restore. And this phase basically eliminates all grains and legumes, and it's just fruits and veggies. So that's your diet, is fruits and vegetables. And knowing me, I am a carbaholic. This was the hardest phase for me. I'm used to eating all the carbs. And I had headaches off and on during this last week, but I held strong. I went on more walks. I didn't go out as much, like as in grocery shopping. I did this the week before because I knew I was going to be tempted by everything. And I really had to dig deep though, because I had some temptations along the way. I had some events happening that I had to choose to not be a part of because I needed to keep my willpower strong. Again, I've never been so determined through this cleanse. It meant so much to me to stick to it. So it was really awesome. And this week I had some really good recipes because it was mainly focused on veggies. So it was so amazing. There was curried cauliflower, which I actually did just spicy cayenne cauliflower because I didn't have curry powder, and the Asian stir fry. And that was on day 20. So you could see my blog. Those were so good and really filling, surprisingly, just the vegetables. So that's really good, especially over quinoa, but I didn't have it then. I had that yesterday. And the workouts I did during this cleanse, this phase, were the same. I didn't have as much energy during these, so I would walk a few days instead. I made sure to modify, though, because I didn't want to expend too much energy again. And I think this week was when my body started cleansing the most. And what I mean by that is that it kind of went into freak out mode. So I noticed that I broke out a little bit, but then my skin would glow the next day, and then I would get exhausted, but then I'd have an amazing workout. I remember doing one of the Pyo workouts, and I was like actually like breaking a sweat, and I could actually go deeper into the poses, and it was really awesome. But then I would get a headache after. So I was kind of all over the place, but from what I read, people that experience those things kind of experience them throughout the entire cleanse, and I really only saw this my last week, so I was pretty lucky. But that also proved to me that I obviously eat way too many carbs, and I need to focus on mainly mostly fruits and vegetables, integrating that more into my diet, which I have since the cleanse. So that was just kind of a brief overview. Again, if you have any more questions you'd like answered, please feel free to email me at lauramcq14@gmail.com. But I want to quickly answer some questions that I received on my social media posts. So one is, who can do this cleanse and who should do this cleanse? And honestly, I really think it could be anyone, but you have to be dedicated. You have to prep. And a lot of people, like when they first start their fitness journey, don't know what they're interested in, don't know what kind of workouts they like. They have really bad eating habits. And some people have approached me wanting to start their fitness journey, but they're injured. So I think that with that said, this all starts with nutrition. Your fitness journey really should start with your nutrition. If you can go 21 days and create a complete lifestyle change, you can definitely conquer a fitness program while integrating healthy portion control eating, and it really will help. And I know nutrition is the number one struggle that all my challengers, myself included, have gone through. So if you get that in control and change your lifestyle, adding workouts into the mix will really, you'll see insane results, which I'm noticing right now for myself. So number 2, are the recipes filling? And can a meat eater do this? Yes, and absolutely. I am in a support group on Facebook. During this cleanse I was, and many people were omnivores and they loved meat. I've been the Ultimate Reset gradually removes meat, dairy from the diet. So it's not just a cut and dry, like, nope, no more meat. So if you do decide this, you could do this as a vegan though, and you'll notice that your body feels lighter and leaner. You're not depending on animal products. Your taste buds will actually adapt to more of the recipes. You'll take, it's crazy because I took dairy out of my diet a little bit before this, but I noticed when I was putting butter in my recipes or, cheese or something like that in my vegetables, it disguised them. But when I just had like a little bit of olive oil or coconut oil or just steamed it with water, they're meant to be tasted like that alone. So of course it might be a little more difficult for a meat eater, but if you are a meat eater and you want to do something like this, I'd recommend doing a shorter one at first to kind of build up to it, like a 3-day refresh, because that's already a vegan cleanse, and you can totally do it though. Okay, so I already talked about water a little bit, but I get this question a lot, like what kind of water do you drink? And you have to do distilled water. I went to Safeway. I got 5 gallons for $5. You put mineralize in it. And you'll notice a big difference when you have Brita water versus distilled water after your cleanse. So that's very important. You also cook with it. So I went through so much water, but you can get it relatively cheap. And exercise, you're really supposed to do no strenuous exercise. You can do restorative yoga, Tai Chi, breathing, walking, but my Ultimate Reset calendar is all low impact workouts, like I've said, so you can follow that. When should you do the Ultimate Reset? Well, like I said, again, when you're ready, when you're 100% committed, because you should not be traveling, you should be home, you need to have an organized schedule, you need to have meal prep all lined up, you need to be writing out your goals, writing out why you want to do this, why you want to do it for yourself, why you want to do it for your family, your lifestyle. If you're in a really big rut with your nutrition, definitely in the new year for all the holidays, I'd recommend doing this in January. Then that is the time. That is the time to really do this. And also, if you're physically injured, if you're coming back from an injury, this is a program based on only nutrition. Yeah, you could be doing stretching as well, but you don't have the excuse of, oh, I can't work out because I'm injured. You can also do this just because you want to focus on your nutrition, and that's like a really great time to start it. Also, you should not do this if you're pregnant, obviously. Okay, so added tips. What else can you be doing during this cleanse? One is to get support as soon as possible, before you start it, before you even prep. When I was researching this cleanse, I found surprisingly hardly anything on doing it as a vegan or any support groups. I could not get into them. So there are Facebook groups run by Beachbody, and they have tons of information, but they don't have like daily support and accountability with like you people checking in and seeing how you're doing, like that one-on-one interaction. And I personally need that. So I did that for you, and I know how difficult it is to go through this alone. It is a freaking hard cleanse, and I don't want anyone else to have to do that, especially if you're going through as a vegan. You do need the support, and I have you covered with that. So I have every single day available to you on my blog, and it has, grocery lists, meal prep lists, daily support. You have advice. We could talk about ups, downs. I have videos. All of that is available to you because it is really hard doing this alone. I don't recommend it. Another tip is to prep. Again, you need to prep, especially if you have a 9-to-5 job. You need to make sure you bring your little supplement caddy to work, put timers on your phone of when to take your supplements, your alkalize, always have water with you all the time, plan your breaks around it, because it's okay to slip up every now and then, obviously, but you want to try to do this as strictly as possible. Let's see, another tip, obviously you should go outside and get into nature, soak up the sun, you need it. Trust me, you're gonna look at the world differently, as weird as that sounds. You'll figure it out when you're on the cleanse. Yoga and breathing really helps relax, and it also energizes your cells and helps you further detox. So that's another one, is to get outside, get in nature, breathe. That's actually written in the manual, because when you do yoga, it also helps you relax. Yoga is really, really helpful for me, and it helps with anxiety during this. Okay, another big one is sleep. So it is a common human need, obviously, but during this cleanse, you really need to get a healthy sleep cycle, fully rejuvenate, help your body detox. It's important to do that. So you're going to be pretty tired the first few days, so I would try to establish a really great sleep schedule the first week. Early on is great. Okay, so this is like a random one, but I think it's kind of important. So when you're showering, Tony Robbins does this, and he's like my favorite person ever, but I started doing this every day, and usually you have warm water when you're showering, but if you do a blast of cold water at the end of your shower, you feel so energetic and really rejuvenated and super alive, and it also helps with your circulation. So I would also do that too, especially if you do yoga in the morning and you're just ate your fruit plate or something and you want to just get a little bit more energy without, having coffee or something. That really, really helps. Okay, so lastly, avoid temptation. Do not, and I repeat, do not watch dumb television, as, lame as that sounds. Instead, really focus on working on yourself, reading personal development, watch a nature documentary, seriously, on Netflix. Fill yourself with life and positivity and happiness instead of a really dumb McDonald's commercial or reality TV or something, because I know I made the mistake of watching like Man versus Food and some cooking shows, and I highly regret that. The struggle was real. So think happy thoughts, watch a Disney movie, and just fill yourself with positivity because you need that during a cleanse this intense. So if you do have any more questions regarding this cleanse, if I didn't answer anything, please shoot me an email, and it's laurenmchugh14@gmail.com. I have a lot more details in my blog on laurenmchugh.fitness.com, and I would love to hear from you if you are ready to reset your life, reset your nutrition, become healthier, happier, lighter, and just have a completely different mindset on nutrition. I know I do, and every single thing I eat, I'm conscious of it now. And it's just such an amazing journey, and I really recommend it to anybody that struggles with nutrition. And if you cannot work out right now, or you don't love working out that much, this will help you get back on track. So I would love to talk to you. You can visit my blog and fill out a form if you would like to join me on this journey, or if you just want to talk to me about it, because I know that I get so many questions about it and I love talking about it. So feel free to reach out to me, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Thank you for watching me on my journey. Bye, everyone.